Hi, I'm Randy McAbee, Tackle Warehouse Pro. Today we're out here at Lake Cachuma, and I brought my son Mason McAbee, and he's been fishing team tournaments with me on this lake here the last couple weeks, and we've won 2 in a row. And in both tournaments, in the first tournament he had second big fish, and the last tournament he had big fish of the tournament on a shaky head of all things. We've been running around flipping, cranking, and somewhere throughout the day we'll be going by a point and he'll throw a shaky head out off the point and end up catching a 3.5 pounder for us. So got him here today to give us a few pointers on how to finesse fish a shaky head. We're here towards the end of summer. You know, it might be a little early fall, but the nights are just now starting to cool down a little bit. But I think what these fish are doing is we're fishing kind of the mouth of the river, and underneath the water here the bank comes out and then just straight off bluff wall, and these fish have got the shad pushed in here, and they just migrate up and down this wall and they're following the bait. So we're trying to cast right up onto the edge of that ledge. You know, I can't really tell yet if we're catching them right on the ledge on the bottom, or if we're missing the ledge and it's just going by and falling down and we're catching them suspended, because it really hasn't been a real consistent bite. But when we get bit, it's been a good one. So it tells me that we're making a mistake on our cast and we're missing the ledge a little bit and probably catching them suspended. The only problem with that is suspended fish are one of the probably the hardest fish to catch, because there's no consistent basis to them. They could be over here, behind us, or over there. It is kind of a luck of the draw type deal. But we've been moving around a lot and just trying to cover a lot of these main lake stuff. You know, this is the mouth of the river, but the main lake side of it, there's a point of an island over here, main lake point over here, and we've just been bouncing around until we intercept with the fish. And a lot of times this time of year, it all comes down to timing. You got to be at the right place at the right time, and when they're at a spot and they're deciding to eat, they get pretty easy to catch. The shaky head we've been throwing is the Picasso. It's the shakedown football head, 3/16, and I like it because it's got a lot longer hook. It gets that hook farther back in the worm, and we're using the 6-inch Roboworm fat worms. He's been throwing a bold bluegill color, and you know, when I pick one up, I usually have some type of shad color, like a bait ball or fuchsia or something like that on. But he kept catching these fish, and I couldn't figure out. He's using a bold bluegill, and I'd turn on, I'd look, and he's got his worm rigged upside down. The chartreuse is on the top. And I asked him why he did that. He said he thought it looked better, but every one of the fish he's been catching is on that bold bluegill, and it's rigged upside down to where the chartreuse is straight up in the air instead of down. The rods we're using, he's using a 7-foot medium power rod, Garcia reel with 7-pound fluorocarbon, and I'm using a 7.4 rod. It's a medium action rod with a Garcia reel, and I like throwing mine on 15-pound Spiderwire with the 7-pound fluorocarbon tied to the end with about an 8-foot leader, and then I tie to the fluorocarbon, so I get a lot more sensitivity, and I still have the invisibility of the fluorocarbon down where the bait is. The shaky head we've been using is the Picasso Shakedown football head. It's tungsten, so it's a lot smaller head, and you still get to 3/16. In the lead, you'd have a pretty good sized ball out there on the end. And with that longer hook shank, it gets back there in the worm a lot farther. One thing I find out when fishing a shaky head is when this thing hits the bottom and it's standing straight up, you'll have a lot of fish grab the end of the worm right here. And so when you set the hook, you come back and you just have the worm stuck to the top of your head. This, getting that hook back farther, increases the chances of getting a hook in that fish. From there, I got 7-pound lake fluorocarbon, and I got about a 6 to an 8 foot leader, and then it goes to 15-pound Spiderwire, down spooled up on a Abu Garcia Soron. It's the STX 20, and it's on the Dobyns Champion Extreme. This is a DX 742. It's a 7'4" rod, little longer than your ordinary 7-foot rod or 6'6" rod. I like it because you can throw these things a long ways, and with the braided line, the farther you can cast it, the hook set is more or less direct with the braided line. So we you can get away with a little bit longer rod and longer cast with the setup like that. With the Dobyns 7'4" rod, with making those long casts, you'll get that same soft tip with the medium action rod, but you get a lot longer backbone for when you're setting a hook and you're trying to pick up more line when you make those longer casts.
Hi, I'm Mason McAbee.
And I'm Randy McAbee. All the product we've been using today available at Tackle Warehouse. Late summer, early fall. Grab some shaky head stuff and get out on the water.